The woman spent half a year's salary just to buy a cookie, but when she carefully took a small bite, she ended up spitting it out. Then she neatly arranged the remaining half into shape. Turns out she ordered such an expensive breakfast, not to eat it, but to take a beautiful photo. And after matching it with a piece of soulful quote she thought about for half a year, she happily posted it on her social media. Soon her friends gave her a 5-star rating. Watching her score go up, the woman showed a proud smile to gain others' approval. Daisy practiced her fake smile in the mirror every day. In this world full of hypocrisy, scores became their standard for survival. Everyone's eyes had chips implanted, allowing them to see strangers' scores anytime. Daisy showed her signature smile, just to get a 5-star rating from the other person. In this so-called equal world, people with high scores were symbols of status. Those with low scores were rejected. If the score dropped to 0, they would be sent to prison for labor reform. Daisy racked her brain every day to raise her score, while giving her friends full marks. She eagerly hoped to be recognized in return. In the elevator, she met a colleague she didn't know. Since the woman's score was very high, Daisy quickly opened her social page. After learning about the woman's hobbies, she carefully started flattering her, afraid of offending this noble lady, because getting a good rating from a high scorer would make her score rise faster. But even though she was so cautious, she still got a 4-star review. Daisy instantly became nervous. She clicked into the woman's profile and found out it was her best friend from high school. But after so many years, her friend's score had reached 4.8. To get a full rating from her friend, Daisy took out the doll her friend had given her years ago. She confidently took a picture of it and added one of their old catchphrases. She anxiously waited for her friend's ratings. Sure enough, nostalgia was a luxury everywhere. Soon she received her friend's 5-star rating. But even though she lived so carefully every day, she still had moments when things went wrong. A co-worker eagerly brought her milk tea. Daisy happily gave him 5 stars. The man's score instantly went up, but it drew the contempt of others, because Jeff had just broken up with his girlfriend. Everyone thought it was his fault. Unexpectedly, Daisy still gave him a high rating. Obviously, she had picked the wrong side this time. Her colleagues all gave her bad reviews, and her score began to drop rapidly. She made the deadliest mistake in the workplace, but could only force a smile. That day she took a liking to a larger villa. The salesperson kindly simulated her future life there. Seeing that dream lifestyle, Daisy was very satisfied, but the price of such a small goal gave her a headache. The salesperson seemed to notice her embarrassment, and quickly introduced her to the VIP privileges. If her score could reach 4.5, she could enjoy a 20% discount, but now she only had 4.2, still quite far from the goal. Yet Daisy didn't lose hope. She specifically found a score consultant. After analyzing her years of ratings and her complex social network, the consultant concluded that even though her social circle was healthy, the people she interacted with were too low level. If she wanted to reach 4.5, with 0 bad reviews, it would take at least 18 months. But Daisy couldn't wait that long, so the consultant recommended her a score boosting guide. As long as she could connect with high-level people outside her circle and earn their high ratings, she could quickly reach her target score. So she started giving random strangers 5 stars, hoping to befriend high-scoring elites. That day Jeff's rating had dropped to 2.4, so he was stopped by security. But this time Daisy didn't sympathize with him. She even decisively gave him a bad review. In the elevator she met a new colleague again, but her intentions were too obvious, so the woman saw through her fake smile instantly and gave her a bad review. The consultant also thought she was too impatient, because fake kindness always disgusts people. That night luck finally smiled on Daisy. She received a call from her friend. Her friend said she was getting married at the end of the month, and invited Daisy to be her bridesmaid, and hoped she could give a speech at the wedding. Daisy could hardly believe it. You know, those who attend such weddings are all powerful and wealthy people. The consultant also thought this was a perfect opportunity. All the guests had scores above 4.8. If she could seize this chance, she could turn into a phoenix overnight. That day she was as happy as a child. She even called the real estate agent and decided to buy that villa in full. For that she began practicing her wedding speech. She even moved herself to tears, just so she could shine that day and become the biggest winner at the wedding. But her boyfriend looked disgusted and told her not to go, because that friend not only stole her ex-boyfriend, but also used to bully her at school. But Daisy no longer cared about any of that. For the sake of her score, she was even willing to sacrifice another one. They had a big fight over it. Her boyfriend angrily gave her a bad rating, but she didn't care at all anymore. As long as she could attend the wedding, she could squeeze into high society.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's great. Just great.
Because of a small mistake, Daisy got another bad review, but she didn't know that her nightmare was just beginning. On her way to the airport, she got another call from her friend, but because she talked too loudly, she annoyed the taxi driver. As soon as she got out of the car, she received another bad review. Her score dropped to 4.1. Feeling wrong, she arrived at the airport, but when she saw the ticket agent, she again put on her signature smile. But due to flight issues, her scheduled plane was cancelled. Daisy explained she needed to attend a wedding, and asked if they could help her get the next flight. Luckily, there was one last flight tonight. tonight, but only first-class seats were left, and passengers were required to have a 4.2 rating or higher. Daisy tried to explain, hoping the agent would make an exception, but the woman coldly refused, only looked at scores and ignored reasons. That made Daisy furious. She started cursing, which angered the people in line. They all gave her bad reviews. Soon the airport police arrived, because she disrupted public order. They deducted a full point from her score. Her score instantly dropped to 3.1, but if she didn't make another mistake within 24 hours, the deducted point would automatically return. Now she couldn't take the flight anymore, but to make it to the wedding, she had to choose a shared bike, but with her current score, she could only pick from the low-end ones. The man saw she was polite, and kindly arranged an old car for her. As long as she kept driving for 9 hours, she could barely make it to the wedding. Daisy kept rehearsing her speech along the way, even imagined the scene of everyone giving her 5 stars. Then her friend called again, asking why she didn't show up for rehearsal. Daisy didn't tell her the truth. She just promised to be there on time. After her friend hung up, Daisy nervously pulled out her phone, quickly gave her a good rating. She anxiously waited along the way. After receiving a 5-star from her friend, Daisy finally breathed a sigh of relief. But trouble never comes alone. She had only driven for a while, when her car warned that the battery was running low. She found a charging station, but since it was an antique car, the plug didn't fit. Daisy quickly found a staff member, but the man clearly didn't care. He ignored her request, and even heartlessly gave her a bad review. Helpless, she turned to strangers for help, but their cars were all luxury models. None helped her. Instead, she got more bad reviews. Daisy angrily vented her frustration, but after calming down, she regained her composure. She had already sacrificed so much for this wedding. She couldn't just give up now, so she went onto the highway, hoping someone would give her a ride. But with her 2.8 rating, no one wanted to stop. Instead, she got even more bad reviews. She couldn't understand why she was getting hate when she hadn't done anything. Just when Daisy was in total despair, a truck stopped. A kind lady offered her a ride, but when Daisy saw her score was only 1.4, she hesitated. The woman saw her worry.
Don't look it. Come on. I don't bite.